Here's the scary thing about Sergei Pavlovich, man. This dude's been around. He's not new. That's the craziest part. He's not a new fighter, man. He's just a guy he's a Russian who doesn't talk crazy, just knocks people out. And if we're taking a look at it, he made his UFC debut. And I remember, man, because that's the tape you have to go back and watch to really take things into consideration. Got knocked out by Alistair Overeem back in 2018 when he made his debut. And I want to bring that fight back up a little bit later. But aside from that, man, what's been 6 straight first round knockouts since then. So hell of a run right there. But you do have to say, he's fought 5 rounds one time in his career for a championship. He ended up winning that fight. Everything else has been like 1 or 2 rounds. So big question mark on, hey, this is a 5-round championship fight. If you don't start your guy in the first, second round, what happens rounds 3, 4, and 5? But you have to ask the same question for Tom Aspinall, because this dude is in the same exact boat, man. He just starches everybody. So if you look at Tom Aspinall, do we count the Curtis Blades loss, AJ? Yeah, it's a loss. He lost the fight. But you blew your knee out. I mean, do we count it?
You got to count it on paper. I mean, it is what it is. You lost the fight. You weren't able to continue fighting. So therefore, at the end of the day, it's an L. But if we're talking in perception wise, I don't count that one for him. It was a quote unquote fluke. You know, if the Sugar Show is able to be undefeated after the whole Ecuadorian toe incident, yeah, my boy Tom Aspinall, he didn't lose that fight either.
Well, then you're going to put these guys on an even playing field then, because Tom Aspinall then technically would have 2 real losses. And then even then, we're only going to make that 1. The reason why is the last loss before that, it was a John Jones loss. You get DQ'd for an illegal elbow, right? Illegal downward elbow or whatever the case may be. The fight before that, yeah, he got heel hooked, right? So both dudes have an official loss, like a real deal, you lost. And the beauty is, it wasn't any time recently for either of these guys. So we got 2 dudes on an absolute collision course, 2 dudes who really don't know what the taste of loss feels like in a long time, at least. And I think that what this comes down to, man, is it almost comes down to who lands first, AJ. Like, who lands the big one first? This is heavyweight, after all. How much do you think this comes into a factor? Because a lot of people are saying, Tom Aspinall, bro, his jiu-jitsu is so good, he's just going to take Pavlovich down. And I'm like, I mean, while, yes, you have jiu-jitsu, I don't know if Sergei Pavlovich is a guy that you want to risk taking down. Look at Curtis Blades. He ain't really tried to take him down until it was too late. And the moment you get that failed shot, you feel how thick that dude is, and you're like, oh, God, I can't take him down. You got a problem. So for a Sergei Pavlovich right here, who is the talk of the town, how much of a hot commodity is this truly, AJ? Like, legitimately, is this the guy? Does he have the whole package?
Oh, now does he have the whole package? No, Derek. I think the whole package is on that opposite side in Tom Aspinall. I think Tom's the more well-rounded fighter generally. But the thing is, Pavlovich has never needed to display those skills because he's getting those first and second round finishes. This guy can finish the fight in a multitude of ways. The question is, you said it before, is this just one of those fights where all it takes is one, the momentum shifts, and that guy gets the dub? Or what happens? Both these guys, like you said, haven't seen many minutes in the round. I mean, they've seen many minutes, but they haven't had the long duration fights. What happens when that gas tank is empty? You're sitting there breathing. Personally, I think Tom Aspinall is going to have the more fruitful gas tank, if you will. He's going to have more of it in there. But then again, man, Pavlovich, you try taking him down. You're carrying his weight all the time. You're in the clinch. This guy's wearing on you. That gas tank just starts seeping and seeping, man. So that really right there, the unknowns of the later rounds, I'm interested to see how that unfolds. But to that point, Derek, I mean, heavyweight 5th round fight, how much do we enjoy that, you know?
We don't. That's not what we come here for. We come here for 1-2 rounds. Give us 1-2 really good rounds, and then we don't want to see the rest. But I will say, man, I'm kind of going to push back, man. I love me some Tom Aspinall, but I think that Sergei Pavlovich maintains a fight style that requires less energy. Now, Tom, the thing that's beautiful about Tom's fight style at heavyweight is he moves like a middleweight. You know what I mean? He's on his toes, bouncy, in and out, bop, bop, out, right? Pavlovich, on the other hand, plants his feet firmly into the ground, puts a high guard up, and says, I'm going to walk you down. What's up? Let's do this. Quick shots, too, from all types of angles you wouldn't expect. So from a pure boxing standpoint, I think that's the thing that scares me about picking Aspinall. I think Sergei Pavlovich clearly holds the advantage there, even though Aspinall's a super sharp boxer. But this is where it gets interesting. So this is my theory. You give me your opinion on my theory here. My theory is that if Tom Aspinall is smart, if he's living up to what he's saying in his pre-fight presser, he says, I'm not going to go and have a dick measuring contest with this guy. We're not going mano-y-mano in this one. Instead, I'm going to play it smart. I'm going to use all my weapons, and I'm going to make this an ugly fight. So my thought process is a victory against Sergei Pavlovich means you're going to almost take a Klitschko style approach. Jab, hug. jab, hug. 1-2, clinch him up against the fence, try to trip him, get him down. Don't stand in the pocket and let this dude beat you up for, you know what I mean? Whatever, 5-10 minutes, how everybody else does, because that's what it is. Tuivasa, was Tuivasa, right? Went in there, try to have a scrap with him, right? Or no? Yeah, maybe.
For Spivak?
For Pavlovich.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. For Pavlovich. My bad.
Yeah, so either way, all these heavyweights are going in there and they're saying, let's go mano a mano, Sean Strickland style. Let's just bang it out, right? And it's not working. It's not working against any of these guys. It doesn't matter if it's a Derek Lewis, a Tuivasa, or whoever this guy fights, right? But who have we seen stick and move and stay on the outside and not really play that game and play technical? Have we seen that yet?
In the heavyweight division, stay technical, stay in and out. I mean, the one guy that comes to mind right away.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
laughing. That was funny.
Yeah, there you go. The only guy that really comes to mind right away is Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Kind of had that movement, but didn't necessarily have the speed. I mean, the only other guy that also comes to mind is John Jones, but going up from light heavyweight, obviously he's going to have that skill. But maintaining that bob and weave, I don't really think we've seen it besides Tom Aspinall, like I said, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. What do you think?
Yeah, so really the point that I was making was Pavlovich, Blades, Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Shamil Abdurakhimov, Maurice Green, and then Marcelo Gome. He's smashed all these guys. None of those guys have tried to play that game that Tom is going to play, in my opinion. That's the point that I was making overall. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Then again, Tom Aspinall, on the other hand, you look at who this man has fought, and it's been what? Tybura, Curtis Blades, Volkov, Spivak, Arlovsky. Neither of these guys have fought the caliber of opponent that they're going to fight on Saturday night. That's where the X's and O's really come in. That's where the mystery comes in. So, gut check right here, man. Minus 105 Pavlovich, minus 115 at open, AJ. If we're taking a look at what the numbers are indicating right now, Aspinall has actually crept up to a minus 120 favorite with a plus 100 comeback for Pavlovich. And my question to you was going to be this. Plus 100, same situation as the last fight, right? This dude has been a marauder. He's been a guy smashing everybody. I know because of my loyalty, I'm picking Tom Aspinall, and because of some other factors. But is this a steal, plus 100, for a guy who's been just starching everybody?
I almost chose Pavlovich for that exact reason, Derek, because a lot of people love the Tom Aspinall hype train. Don't get me wrong, I do too, and it's for a reason. But Pavlovich has this kind of fight style where he just wears you down. He beats you up. He saps that wheel, and he has you looking in the cage like, fuck this. I do not want to fight this guy anymore. And that's really where people start to crumble. And that's one of the good things that Pavlovich presents, is able to stay composed, stay maintained. So, yeah, I think that plus 100 is definitely a steal.
All right, man. This is my last take on this one. If you have anything else to add, please let me know. The pre-fight presser revealed a lot, in my opinion. Tom Aspinall is very candid with his answers, right? He says, and of course, a lot of it's kind of taken out of context, but he's like, Sergei Pavlovich is the scariest guy in the heavyweight division. When I see him, he's big, he's scary. I can't go toe-to-toe with him like that because he'll probably win. I have to be smart. 2 weeks is not a training camp. This is short notice, scariest guy, worst situation possible. Like, words, perception-wise, makes me be like, I don't want to bet on you, bro, because none of this sounds good. And then Pavlovich, on the other hand, yeah, I was training. They called me. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm ready to fight. I think he's really good. We prepared for the best. Now, that could be some of the translation coming from a native Russian speaker, right? Where they're all robots and just fucking, you know what I mean? Klitschko style, Drago style, right? But it could, I don't know. Am I reading too much into this? What was your take on it?
No, I'm right there with you, Derek. I don't think you're reading too much into it. When Tom Aspinall is talking about his game plan, but then also says, I think this guy can win, so I need to do X, Y, and Z because of that. It's never good to have a game plan based on what somebody else is going to do. You need to game plan for what you're going to do and control that fight going forward. So yeah, that right there worries me a lot. And I mean, that's why this fight is so close and so hard to pick. The only reason I'm with Tom Aspinall, I just think he's the more well-rounded fighter. But what happens to that well-roundedness when you're eating a couple lefts and rights down the pipe and this guy is still walking you down and then putting his weight on you and controlling you? It's going to be an interesting one.
Theme of this fight, folks, is there's a lot at stake. There's a lot that you can read into it, and nobody really has a surefire pick. But I'll tell you what, I'm rocking with Tom Aspinall, baby, and new. Let's go. They're going to be the third British champion. Michael Bisping, Leon Edwards, Tom Aspinall. Let's go. AJ, you rocking with my man Aspinall as well. Any last words on this one?
I don't know if I can top it like that, folks. Third champ coming up, Derek. If we need to do a tape check right now. Mark the time, mark the date, folks. We'll go back in history or I guess we'll go forward in history and come back to this point because Derek might have called it. We'll see. I'm still rocking Tom Aspinall.
Let's get it. Tom Aspinall, baby.